in just a few minutes, so stay tuned, guys, and we will get started. Oh, there she is. Hello, Elsa.
Hi, Dana.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you on the other
I'm
side of the globe?
on the other side of the globe. Actually a super nice day in Montreal. We're lucky with the weather. It might rain in the afternoon, but I'm sure in Dubai right now, it is like super magnificent, right?
If you missed the sun, you should come over here.
Oh, I do miss Dubai sometimes. For those of you who've never been to Dubai, Dubai is honestly a great place for vacation. So you're
Yeah,
enjoying right now, right?
so much. Like I really enjoy the city. The country overall is great. But I do miss Montreal. Like I go to Canada and I spend a few weeks there. It's
Oh,
always hard to go and come back because you really feel like you belong to everywhere now.
you are a citizen of the world, and I think, well, we're going to get started actually, so that everyone can know a little bit about your journey, who you are, what you do.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know me, I'm Dana Azze. I'm the founder of the Rebel Chronicles. It's a blog that I launched in 2015 to hopefully make a positive impact on women's lives everywhere by sharing stories of inspirational women such as yourself and giving some career advice so that every woman can really pursue her dreams regardless what they are. So today I have a super sweet, exciting, successful guest, Elsa Khalil. She's the founder of Khalil Services. At a super young age, she launched her own business. So today we're going to be talking about your entrepreneurial journey, how you got started, and we're going to be answering some questions from some people who sent in questions about how to actually move to Canada as a student and make sure that the success is as high as possible for them. So welcome, Elsa, to
Thank
today's
you, Dana.
Dana
Thank you
Meets.
for this initiative. I believe that is also important. I wish I had it back when I started my business to be inspired by other women. I want to say hi to Reem. I
Hello,
love you
Reem. We
so much
love
as
Reem.
well. So, when I started back in my business, I was just 24 years old and
Wow.
I didn't have the right guidance or how to start. I am a scientist. I have a bachelor in biology and a master's in immunology. So, cancer treatment, I was in the lab all my life and I did research on mice. This is what I was
Wow.
best. And then I had this idea of opening this company and helping people to go and study in Canada and follow the path that I did personally. I was an international student in Canada. I studied there.
You
I
did
knew
your
how to
university
how
degree,
the
right?
struggles. Yes, yes. I was myself there and jumping into the business field wasn't that easy. So I really wish there was such an inspiration or a platform for women to really express their journey and what they've been through to inspire other ladies who have the idea of becoming
Yeah,
entrepreneurship.
because a lot of us actually lack the guts actually to go ahead and launch our own business. So sometimes you just need to see another woman who went for it, who said, you know what, if I make it, I make it. I don't make it, it's okay. But to actually go for it and not live with regret.
Correct.
So can you tell us, Elsa, how did you come up with the idea of founding Khalil Services? So you're at the base a scientist. What you do now has nothing to do with science. It is about helping people move to Canada as students. So
Yeah.
how did you come up with the idea?
Well, I've never told the full story, and I've been asked many times about how did you start Khalil Services and where the idea did come from. As I told you, I was a scientist. I studied in Canada. I completed my master's there, and back in 2018, I decided to go back to Lebanon because I had many hopes for that country. I really wanted to invest my knowledge and skills in my home country.
Mhm.
Um, back splash to when I was a student in Canada, I went through the process all on my own, and I can mention that I had some struggles with some legal consultants that were guiding me and my parents in the wrong way,
Okay.
because unfortunately it is a truth that in Lebanon we do have misleading legal consultants
Yeah.
that although they did some good job at some times, not everyone did succeed with their guidance, but also we do have many fraud in that field in Lebanon and the Middle East in general. So everyone wants to take people to Canada. Everyone is the expert in the field. Everyone knows what they're doing. And because, it's not anything that is easily accessible for
Yeah.
people, so you just believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I had some struggles. I ended up doing my own paperwork to
Okay.
go and study in Canada.
Okay.
I was really lucky that I didn't have to confront some visa refusal or anything. So I was accepted. I went to Canada on my own. I studied. I finished my master's, and I came back to my home country having a master's in biology. I started teaching at a high school that I love so much, which is
In Beirut.
Sequoia, Montana.
Okay.
Yes, it's one of the best schools I've ever been to. The family, the teachers, the administration, they're amazing. And then while teaching, like I
Yeah.
always give from the heart, and I explain to my students not only the content of the course, but also what they can do. I was teaching senior students, so grade 11 and grade 12. And always my students used to say like, Miss, you studied in Canada, how can we finish and go to Canada after here?
Ah.
And I started helping my students, helping my surroundings, my friends to go to Canada to fill in their applications and so on and so forth. And then like the request grew up and people started calling me for helping them in filling application just because they knew someone that I helped of my friends and cousins.
So it was
It's
basically you kept hearing students that you were teaching asking you questions about Canada, how they can also go and study in Canada. So you're like, wait a second, there's a demand for this. People
exactly
want
like
to
there's a
know how.
demand and there's no one helping them the right way. Like I kept on hearing stories about failures or fraud or taking too much money for that service, and it's not correct. I've been there. I
Yeah,
studied myself in Canada, and what they're telling you about international education in Canada is not correct.
it's not
So I
correct.
decided to step into that service professionally, and I know everything with Canada has to be certified and has to be legal, and we need to represent Canada in the most proper way,
Yeah.
because it's a really very, very decent and lovely country that is wide open for everyone, but we need to represent it in a proper way.
And
So this is why.
you're a certified education consultant, right?
Exactly. And
That's
it's
very
a very
important.
important part to know that, because not everyone for Canada can promote Canada and can help you study in Canada. You have to be an education certified
Okay.
consultant for Canada. And this is where I started looking for the right certification. I passed through it. I thank ICEF for opening wide their hands and their family and their knowledge and sharing it with me. I sat for the exam. I passed the regulation. And now not only am I certified to help students go to Canada, to all over Canada, but also, in Canada, you have different provinces and
Yeah.
different regions. So I just few weeks ago received the Nova Scotia certification with Edinova, and I'm
Congratulations.
proud to say that I am between the very, very, very few Middle Eastern people that have the Edinova certification.
Wow,
So
congratulations. So now you
thank you,
specifically also
thank you.
have to help students move to Nova Scotia, which is one of
Yeah,
our east provinces for those who don't know Canada. Lovely place.
yeah, the
Uh,
Atlantic side, it's
that's
beautiful. Have you
exciting.
ever been there before?
No, I'm actually dying to
You should go.
go.
You should go.
By the way, we're getting a lot of comments about love your expertise, very helpful. There were a lot of people saying in the chat that they adore you. You're very inspirational. By the way, guys, after we chat a little bit with Elsa about her, her inspirational journey as an entrepreneur, we're going to be taking some questions. So if you have any questions about moving to Canada as a student, Elsa will answer them. So feel free to put them in the chat. So this is how the idea came about. It was very like natural through just teaching your students, and you realized there was a demand. So you founded Khalil Services. So what does Khalil Services do?
Okay, to start with the name first.
Yeah.
When I started the service,
Yes.
and I didn't know it's gonna get to this far actually. And I wanted just to register my company in the Lebanese authorities, and I went to register it, and like they asked me the first question, what do you name the company? I didn't have any idea of the name, and like spontaneously I said, okay, like it's a service, Khalil Services, like if you want to name it,
Okay.
just call it that way. It was super spontaneous. I didn't have any plan for that. It was so funny. And now like Khalil Services is a Canadian company, Lebanese company, Emirati company, based
Wow.
in 3 countries in the world, helping more than 300 students per year going to Canada. So
Amazing.
it did expand very fast. What does Khalil Services do?
Hmm.
Exactly, we open up the doors for
Hmm.
Middle Eastern students to continue their higher education in Canada and US.
Okay. And
So
US.
any,
Wanted to know
exactly,
also the US. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, very good. So you
We
help.
recently added Germany, but we have only an exclusive collaboration in Germany with SRH Berlin.
Okay.
It's a German university, private university that is based in Berlin, Hamburg, Dresden, and many other campuses around Germany. And it's our exclusive collaboration in Germany. But
Okay.
our main focus
Canada and
is actually Canada and the States. Yes.
okay. So the steps. So what do you do? So a student comes to you and says, you know, I really want to study in Canada. Do you help them get into a university, get their student visa? What is it exactly that's part of, you know, the services
The
that you
process, yes. Okay. So from the first day that any person has the idea of going or moving to Canada, we usually set a 30 minutes call together one-on-one, me and the person interested,
mm-hmm.
to discuss further their dreams and what they think of, either if they are students, school students, grade 12, or university students that they finished their bachelor's and they're looking for master's or PhD programs abroad.
Okay.
During this call, we actually discussed their options, their profile, their degrees, their accreditations, their GPA, where do they want to go if they have relatives in a specific area in that country, their language level, if they need to sit for any English or language or French exams. So we discussed the profile of the person,
Okay.
and then afterwards we try to match this person to the best education options they can have either in Canada or the States, depending on their destination.
Okay.
So we try to match them with at least 10 to 15 options that they
Okay.
get to choose from.
Okay.
And then once they choose, they have to choose at least 3 options to apply to, because we need to ensure that they will get accepted into at least one
One.
university out of their choice.
Okay.
And being partners with more than 30 institutions around Canada, I can name York University, St. Mary's University, Concordia University, that I'm really proud to say we do have written direct agreements with these institutions that you rarely can find agencies that have written agreements with these institutions.
Wow.
And being said that, we help our students or applicants, if they apply through us,
Yeah.
to have a faster admission process
Okay.
and an easier admission process. So, because some programs are a bit competitive, if
Mm-hmm.
they apply through a partner, agency partner for that university, they have the priority to be accepted. For example, Toronto Metropolitan University, Windsor University, like plenty of universities that we work with in Canada and also in the States, San Francisco State University, Arizona State University, one of the biggest names in the industry. We help in that process.
And also I'm sure you guide if, you know, certain programs are maybe more difficult to get into or they're protected by provincial or federal laws. I'm not sure. So
Regulations,
you
exactly,
guide the student, you
exactly.
know what, this is not a good idea. Maybe this is a better program for you. So
Yes,
this is the
true.
university application
With
process.
the
Now,
university application. Afterwards, we definitely focus with the university. If it's for the states to receive the I-20 approval for the financial verification of the student. And if we're talking about Canada, the second step, if we're focusing on the province of Quebec, we need to receive the CAQ or the Certificat d'Acceptation de Québec.
okay.
Once we finish that step, we need to move forward and we need to apply for the study permit for the student. If
Okay.
we are talking about Canada, this is a very delicate step that we have certified legal consultants on board, RCICs, that will help us into building the perfect application for the student with the perfect study plan, with the perfect admission application and requirements, financial proofs, We need to always show ties to their home country, that they're coming back after finishing their education in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and many, many points that we need to take into consideration while applying for a study permit to Canada.
Okay.
As for the United States application, we also have a very important step, which is the interview for the student, that they need to sit for
Uh,
an interview at the American Embassy in Lebanon, for example,
okay.
before going forward and receiving their study permit to the state. So we
Oh,
do have
there.
with them a mock
Okay.
interview with a previous member of the US Embassy in Lebanon,
Ah,
and she has all the expertise. She's super sweet, and she goes on online with our students to prepare them for the interview with the mock questions, and like she puts them under pressure, so she doesn't help them to feel friendly at the
yeah.
beginning, so they start shaking and oh my god, she's so serious. So we set them in the atmosphere of how they will feel during the interview in at the embassy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we help in preparing all the aspects of the application to
Okay.
ensure
Success.
a higher acceptance rate for both the visa. And like if people are following our page, we're happy to say that we do promote on our Instagram page the success rate of the visas. It's not to show off that we're very good and we know how to get the US or the
But you
Canadian
are.
visa. It's
You are
not
very
about
good.
that. Because I would like to emphasize on the fact that I would like to always show the human behind
Yeah.
this page. So we're not putting some characters online and saying like, do you want to study in Canada? Or we have a collaboration with X University or that. We do want to show the success story, and we make sure that, of course, we have the consent of the person before posting their
Or-
video or their photo, but we always want to ensure that there's a person behind. This person had a story. It wasn't all like fruitful and always like straightforward to receive this visa approval. So,
and
and we tag the people. You can easily go on any video, contact the person, and we have their approval to be contacted from future clients. You can ask them how much did we charge them, because we're very transparent. We don't change our prices between one client to another. How
and
much did we charge them? How was the journey? What is the feedback? They will tell you that Khalil Services has a very large number of applications, and sometimes it will take you 1 day or 2 days to get a phone call with them. Because yes, that's a reality.
yeah.
We are
You're a
busy
very
in Lebanon.
you're
Yes,
a very transparent company, and I have to say it's
exactly.
very true. I see your videos that you post where you announce that they got their visa. There is this human aspect, and this is something I want to add, that besides helping the students get accepted at a university and getting their student visa, I've personally attended one of your events in Montreal. You've created also a community and a
Oh
network
yeah.
so that the students don't feel all alone when they arrive in Canada, right?
Exactly.
So this is,
So our service, Dana, doesn't only step at the step of receiving the visa approval,
yeah,
because as you said, you attended my event in Montreal,
yeah,
Canada. I had events in Montreal, in Toronto, in Ottawa, and we call this group our family, our Khalil Services family.
yeah.
A person who will move, who will immigrate, who will go study abroad, they need people next to them. They don't want to feel alone in a country that is very new to them. They want to feel surrounded by Lebanese, by Middle Eastern, by Arab speaking people,
Yeah.
just to be able to integrate and feel the family, feel surrounded. And so as soon as a student gets accepted from my office, they will immediately be join a WhatsApp group and a Facebook group for students that are going to that specific area. And
Wow.
we will also hook them up with students who have already studied the same program at the same university, or future students that they are going together to the same program or the same university.
You
I
even
have a
helped
very nice story.
you
Yeah.
even helped two gentlemen find roommates,
Oh
right?
yes, they many guys share together like apartments. It's a nice atmosphere. I have two ladies, for example, young girls. They were schoolgirls, and then the family met each other at my office, their parents,
Mhm.
and then they felt at ease sending their daughters, like two daughters of different families, to Canada. And then these daughters are now like best friends in Canada. I enjoy spending time with them. I enjoy feeling that they got to know each other because of us because of Khalil Services. Many students, for example, did already, for example, a master's in industrial engineering. So I have students coming in, they go online, they talk to them, they share with them their previous projects, their courses, they tell them, okay, make sure to take this course before this course, it's a prerequisite. So
They
this
share their experience.
bonding and this network is different, is what makes Khalil different, Khalil Services different in the Middle East, actually.
I love that. And I think that's really the recipe for your success so far. Now, we've talked about what you do, what Khalil Services does, your success stories. What are some challenges you face because you are a young entrepreneur, you launched your business, something completely unrelated to what you studied? I'm sure you faced a lot of challenges. So what are some of the challenges that you've been through and advice that you could give for, other aspiring entrepreneurs?
The first thing I can actually think of is like being a biologist and like spending, as I said, my life into labs.
Yeah.
Following a protocol for experiments and all of that, and not having any business background. Like I do have some electives that I took at the university, but I don't have a full background of business.
Yeah.
And jumping into a business field, like having your own company, trust me, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It requires hard work to learn all the financial aspects, the marketing, the digital marketing that is now very important for a business.
Yes.
And also like all the meetings, how to act, how to really behave as a business owner, how to dress as a business owner. There are many things that you really don't think of, but they come as a package while opening your own business. So I did study at a very hard pace online. Mm-hmm. I did read a lot for management, financial courses and books. I did follow many online courses. I asked around always for coaching sessions, for private sessions. I took some advice from you, Dana, because you're expert in this field. So I always love to surround myself by people who have the knowledge that I would really get more from them and learn from previous business owners' mistakes to be able to improve myself in my business.
Okay. So
the second thing,
you say to aspiring entrepreneurs, make sure you're continuously learning. So seek advice.
Yes. Every day I learn something new, every day.
Okay. What's the second thing?
The second thing I faced as it was a major problem because, in the Middle East, being a woman and opening your own company, it's not that easy. It's not that easy in terms of our community is male based, and is male oriented in the Middle East. And not only being a woman, but being a young woman. I opened my company at 24 years old.
Wow.
And I cannot tell you how many struggles I had to go through for people just to take me seriously. Because I have the content, I have the knowledge, but for people to trust you and to take you seriously in the business world is not that easy.
So what did you do for them to take you seriously?
I just had confidence in myself. And whenever you have confidence in yourself, you're gonna force the person in front of you to have faith in you.
Yeah.
So to every woman, no matter how old you are, if you are 17 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old, or 50 years old, and you're planning on opening your own business, just trust yourself. Trust that gut feeling that you have, that you are doing the right thing, and just go.
I love that. Amazing advice for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs based on your journey. So since we don't have much time left, and I did receive a few questions from followers, people who are considering moving to Canada or the US for their studies. One main question I got a couple of times was, I can't afford my studies abroad. Would Canada help, or the universities? Do they offer that for international students? Do you know?
Okay, the first thing that before moving to Canada, we need to be very well informed about the tuition fees. Whether we're going for a university or a college level, we need to be very well informed about the totality of the tuition fees. Yes, in Canada, we can work while studying. First of all, the law says that we can work 20 hours per week while studying in Canada during the courses. And during the holidays and the summer vacation, we can work full time.
Wow. Okay.
Also, when the student can find a job on campus, they can also work full time while studying, even during the whole course.
Full time. They can work full time if they find a job
On campus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it gets even better. Just few weeks ago, the Canadian government announced that starting November 15, which is in few days from now, all international students in Canada can work full time, all the time, everywhere.
Anywhere. Oh, wow. Okay.
Up until December 2023, but we are hoping that this decision will continue to other years, because Dana, there are shortages in Canada, and like Canada is trying to seek talents to fill in the shortage they have, and like hiring international students is a priority because they are already inside the country, they know the system, so giving them the time to work extra. Yes.
Okay, so that is a possibility for someone who feels that maybe they won't be able to afford all the years of their studies. There's a possibility to work full time. Are there any scholarship programs also offered to international students, or is it strictly for Canadians?
Yes, there are many scholarships offered for international students. If I'm talking about the undergraduate level, they have to start at the university in Canada. They have to prove themselves, their academic performance during the first semester, during the first term, and then they will be eligible to apply to different sorts of scholarships from the university itself or funding opportunities. For the graduate level, and I wanted to keep it also for another announcement, but I'm going to say it here. Yes. For graduate students into certain universities in Canada, we have just collaborated with an American institution that is willing to fund the totality of the tuition fees of the students studying in Canada and the States as a student loan at a master's level. And then when the student graduates, they will get to pay back this association into installments. So we will remove this burden during their studies so they can focus on their studies. And later on, when they start working full-time after graduation, they get to pay the loan back, because it's not becoming very easy to have a student loan from Canadian banks. Yeah. This is where, for international students, this is where we decided to go the hard way and to start knocking on doors and ask for funding associations. And we were happy that we got the opportunity from an American institution. I'm not going to say the name at the moment, but it's going to be announced very soon on Khalil Services page.
Amazing. Okay, someone is asking what's the name of the institution. Well, we will not say it yet, so stay tuned. But I think that's amazing. And that's why I think, working with a certified education consultant such as, yourself, Khalil Services, helped to know all of these options that are available for students who are thinking to move to Canada, because it's very hard to find the information just online on your own. So this is what is super helpful. Well, we're running out of time, and I don't think we'll have time to go through all of the questions. One last thing I want to ask you. So we went through your journey. We know Khalil Services is now in Canada, in Dubai, and in Lebanon. Of course, anyone who has any questions related to studying in Canada, to contact Khalil Services. I'm going to be tagging them once I post this interview. But one last question for you, Elsa. What's next for Khalil Services? What is your vision for your business?
Well, the big vision for Khalil Services that is written everywhere in my company is that I would love to be the door of opportunities for whoever is seeking an opportunity. So a door for international opportunity. As you said at the beginning, I am the citizen of the world. I've been traveling for the past weeks. I don't know how many countries I've visited. Like, I'm living out of a suitcase, and I love it. I love exploring. And for every person who loves exploring, who loves to go and have experience for a certain period in Canada, experience for a few weeks in the States, go a little bit to Germany. So I would love to be that one-stop shop. They come, they explore the opportunities that they can have, and we guide them through that.
I love
So
that.
this is a final vision. Definitely we're growing into the Middle East. So
Yeah.
next we're going into the Saudi market, the Kuwait market, and Iran. I'm happy to announce that we're not tied to just one nationality. We're helping all of the Middle Eastern, and a little bit we're growing into the area in the MENA region.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that we didn't talk about, just briefly, the bonus that comes after studying in Canada, which is access
Yes,
to citizenship.
citizen
Yes.
and to immigration. Yes, and I did have someone ask, is it easier to go as a student than to go apply as a regular immigrant?
It's mainly the best thing that it's faster.
Okay.
So we can process everything within 6 to 8 months for the student to finish everything within the process and move to Canada or to the States.
Okay.
And later on, after finishing their education, they will be eligible for a postgraduate work permit, a PGWP, to remain in Canada and work full-time after their graduation. And after they work for a certain amount of time, they get
Yep.
eligible for permanent residency and the Canadian citizenship as well.
So it can be an easier, faster process than going through the regular route.
Yeah, for many people who are not eligible for express entry or finding it hard to accumulate the scores they need,
Yeah.
or sitting for the exams. So education will be an easier pathway. And I can say there's no age limit as per the Canadian standards. So I have some students that were 42 years old, they managed to
really?
go and have an MBA. It's a bit tricky when it comes to age, but we always have to think like how to convince the visa officer that we're coming back to our home country after finishing education in Canada, and then things will just flow if we work it properly.
Okay. The case by case, best to just contact you and go through each case. Sarah says Khalil Services makes everything possible.
Oh, hi, Sarah. We love you.
I think it's a wonderful way to end our interview. A wonderful note that Khalil Services does make your dreams come true. So if your dream is to move to Canada or the US, wherever you are in the Middle East, I think Elsa and Khalil Services can make that happen for you. So thank you so much, Elsa, for sharing
Thank you,
your
Dana, for this.
entrepreneurial journey. You're an inspiration to many, many people. And thank you for all the hard work that you do and making other people's dreams come true as well.
Thank you, Dana, for inspiring all women to be really, you're being very supportive to all womenpreneurs, and like just keep on doing what you're doing. You inspire me, myself, and I'm sure that you inspire many women on doing what they do.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Elsa. And thank you to
Thank you.
everyone who joined.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, my dear. Bye-bye.
Bye.